Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Cook with Brooke, the cooking show that doesn't have any food. We're very pleased today to be filming from the Village 6 Clubhouse. For those of you that haven't had an opportunity to see this yet, it's a beautiful facility. I look forward to having you come over and explore it. It's been a fantastic effort by the team putting it together, and Lord and Son and the contractors and the people that have been involved with this have just done a phenomenal job. So today on our show, we're going to have a unique opportunity. We're going to flip the camera around a little bit. And so the marketing and development department, which normally puts this show together, is going to be featured today. So we're going to have VaTema Ivy, and we're going to have Scarlett Bauman that's going to be on, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's happened in the marketing and development area. Before we go, of course, I have to tell a joke. I've been asking for material, and you guys are not helping me out, so I had to go to the internet. I pulled up a quote from Jerry Seinfeld. He had this to say. He said, according to most studies, people's number one fear is public speaking. The number two fear is death. So basically, in that case, you'd be better off being in the casket than having to do the eulogy at a funeral. So we're still welcoming more jokes, so if you want to provide us a little bit of humor, please do so and send it over. You can send it over to Scarlett. So I wanted to just talk real quick about COVID and give you an update. Still doing great in the community. Everybody is staying smart. They're staying safe. They're staying healthy. It's really paying off the precautions that we're taking. You may have seen recently that the governor of Florida, Governor DeSantis, has issued a new executive order that came out yesterday on Thursday, June the 4th. No, scratch that. That was Wednesday is when he issued that. And basically, he starts to roll back some more of the restrictions that are in place. So there'll be more details that are coming out on that. We likewise are going to follow the governor's lead, and we're going to remove some of the restrictions and relax some of the things that have been in place that have more or less kind of locked down some of the things that have been happening on campus. So we want to remove those. We want to have things be a little bit more relaxed. We know that it's been incredibly inconvenient for many of you. We want to make sure that you have an opportunity to have freedom, but at the same time, we really want to emphasize that you need to stay safe, you need to stay smart, you need to stay healthy. So that includes the routine things of social distancing, wearing a mask if you're comfortable doing that, if it makes you feel safer, making sure that you're washing your hands, and limiting the amount of exposure that you have. Just because they've removed restrictions and allowed you to go to many different places doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do that. So again, stay smart, stay safe, stay healthy. So before we get a little bit farther in, I want to take just an opportunity and turn it over to the team from Knife's Edge and let them explain what's going to be on the menu for next week. We'll be back in just a second, and we'll get into the interview with VaTema Ivy. Thank you.
Hi, it's Carrie from Knife's Edge Cafe, presenting the menu for the week of June 8th. Monday, June 8th, we have chicken cordon bleu, rosemary roasted potatoes, and a vegetable. And our soup of the day is loaded baked potato. On Tuesday, we have a Euro sandwich and French fries, and our soup is French onion. Wednesday the 10th, we have meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and vegetable, and our soup is vegetable soup as well. Thursday, June 11th, we have chicken and waffles, and our soup is corn chowder. Friday, June 12th, we have cheese ravioli, side salad, garlic bread, and our soup is chicken and dumplings. We are open 11 to 1. We are still delivering campus-wide. The dining room is open to 50% capacity in compliance with Governor DeSantis's orders. We have the table set for social distancing, but we would love to see you. Come see us soon. Take care. Bye.
Welcome back. Today, as I mentioned, we have a special guest with us. It's Chief Master Sergeant Retired VaTema Ivy. She is a Director of Development, and that includes the Marketing Department. V has been working here for how many years now?
6 years and 6 months.
6 years and 6 months. It seems like it was yesterday. V and I started working together over in the headquarters when Chief Binnicker was the CEO, and it's been fantastic having her on the team. She just has done so much on the campus. Everything from working in the Hawthorn House as a dining service manager, and then she was the administrator of the Hawthorn House, and finally she's come back over to the headquarters as our development director. So, we're going to talk a little bit about fundraising, a little bit about money, and so those of you that are out there, this is not the time to turn off your TV. We're not going to ask you for money, but we do want to explain a little bit about what it is that the marketing and development team do. So, V, talk to us a little bit about some of the impacts that the COVID virus has had on the fundraising efforts.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brooke, first of all, for having me here today. I'm very excited to be here. So COVID-19 has definitely impacted fundraising here at the Air Force Enlisted Village. To one end, you know, we've had donors that just can't give the way that they normally have given to us in the past. And then to the other end, we've had foundations that have reached out to us and given us great sums of money to help out with our efforts. A lot of folks are, you know, sending whatever they can to help our residents, whether that's to help with the supplies that we need for PPE. We've had a lot of spouses group that have reached out to us. So we kind of have a mixed bag, if you will, when it comes to the fundraising. It hasn't completely died off. It has definitely slowed down a bit. We're not getting as much as we would have, you know, in normal times. But we do have that support system, whether it's the local community, whether it's our military community, they're still reaching out and helping us.
That's fantastic. So you mentioned the military. I know the Air Force Assistance Fund is a big part of the fundraising that we do. And in a typical year, I think we raise about $2 million.
Yes, that's correct.
And so about a third of that normally comes from the Air Force Assistance Fund. Can you talk to us a little bit about the Assistance Fund, where it was, what's happened with it, and what the outlook is?
So the Air Force Assistance Fund is one of our largest fundraisers that we have that goes directly to support our widows here at Air Force Enlisted Village. And like Brooke mentioned, yes, we raise about $2 million annually during that fund. And that's usually a 6 week campaign that is across the Air Force. Well, with COVID this year, the Air Force has scaled back at some of their bases. The campaign, a lot of the face-to-face interactions that normally would take place, whether it's on Herbert or Eglin or, you know, overseas at Yokota or some of our other bases, that has simply been put on hold. And so that has definitely affected our fundraising efforts here. And so we're about 2% of the annual goal this year, which definitely hurts a little bit. But on the good side, our folks down at AFPC and our other charities, we've talked, and so we have decided that we are going to have a 2-week ramp-up period to bring that campaign back up for 2 weeks. We're calling it the lightning round, if you will, and so that'll give the folks coming back to bases and our retirees an opportunity to donate again. So that will be July 14th through the 26th.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned the retirees. That's something that some people don't realize, is that the Air Force Assistance Fund, although primarily targeted to active duty, is also open to retirees. So that's an important point. So you have a knack for doing fundraising, and you have a heart for philanthropy. Can you explain to us what it is? What's the background of that?
Well, let me first say this. When I was asked to come over to development from the Hawthorn House, I was really not thinking that I could do this job. But with the team that I have, whether it's Scarlett, Ryan, Denise, or Annie, and Ashley, when she was still with us, they gave me the boost and confidence to understand that I could do this with their help. And obviously the confidence from you and Bill has helped tremendously as well. I guess the spark for me comes from our residents. Being able to tell that story, because I've worked in so many areas of Air Force Enlisted Village, I know a lot of our residents, I know a lot of their stories, and just going out to the Air Force bases and to some of the conferences and such, and sharing that story is really what ignites me. It makes philanthropy easy here at Air Force Enlisted Village. It really does.
That's neat. Well, the residents are, it's what it's all about. You know, that's the reason that we're here. So kind of shorter term, we have a big event coming up. We have a golf tournament coming up that we had delayed. Can you talk a little bit about what that golf tournament is going to look like and what we're going to do?
Yeah, so this year's golf tournament is going to be a lot different because COVID has come and it's changed the way that we do things. And so we have rescheduled our golf tournament for Friday, June 19th. It's going to be at the Eglin Golf Course as normal. It's going to be a one-day event versus a two-day event. There are some limitations when it comes to social distancing, so we're going to limit our golfers to 120 golfers for the day. One golfer per cart. We have decided to keep our golfers safe, as well as the staff and some of the residents that may be out there, to keep them safe, that we're not going to have an award ceremony at the end, but there'll be lots of food, lots of fun, as long as everybody's social distancing. But it'll be a fun time for all. Just a little bit different than what we've had in the past.
Well, thanks for pulling that together. This is the 17th year in a row that we've done this. And of course, the last month with all the impacts from the COVID, it was certainly not the time to do it. And we really appreciate you and your team pulling this together. And for all the sponsors that are out there, we have some amazing sponsors that have stayed with us and have said, hey, we're going to continue to support you at the level that we have in the past. So we thank them for the work that they do. And we will give them a proper recognition in the future. On one of these shows, we'll give you a list of exactly who's sponsoring us and the incredible work that they have enabled us to be able to do. So V, thank you again for coming out today and for joining us.
For inviting me.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. I want to just switch over now. We're going to take a look at some of the birthdays that we have coming up for June. So we're going to roll through that real quick, and we'll be right back in a moment with Scarlett Bauman. Welcome back, everyone. I hope our birthday celebrations in the month of June are fun and everybody gets a chance to enjoy themselves. We have a special guest again today, Scarlett Bauman from the Marketing and Development Department. In particular, this is more on the marketing side. Scarlett's been working with us for a long time. How long have you been working for us, Scarlett?
10 years and 4 months.
10 years and 4 months. She's a member of the Decade Club, which is really an amazing thing. You would be surprised at the number of people that we have in the AFEV that have been working here for 10 years or more. It's a testament to the great work that we do and the mission that we have. So, Scarlett, in a nutshell, I think most people understand that marketing is telling a story, but
yes.
In your words, what is marketing, and how do you try to take care and promote the Air Force Enlisted Village?
It's definitely telling the story and knowing our audiences. We have a variety of audiences, whether it's donors or prospective residents, and then using the different tactics and tools that we have available to us, whether it's video, a print advertisement, or social media, to be able to send that message or that call to action on those different channels.
That's good. So you mentioned some of the tools that you might use. I think most people picture like a newspaper ad.
Right.
Which we do occasionally.
Yes.
But what are the main tools that you use to be able to spread the message to the people that want to live here, or the people that potentially want to make a donation to us? What are some of those tools?
Well, since our donors and people who can come and live here live all over the United States and really all over the world, depending where there's an Air Force base, because we have had some people come to live here who were living in Turkey or other places. So digital and online marketing is very big. Email is very big. So I do a lot of email marketing. I do a lot of social media marketing, website, our online presence. Those are the tools that really reach a larger audience instead of that local audience where I would use a newspaper ad or a radio or something like that for a local audience.
That's interesting. So talk a little bit about social media, and that's a term that people use loosely. It really has a lot of different platforms that fall under that. What are some of the platforms that you use, and in what way do you use them to spread the news?
Well, we use Facebook. That's where we have our greatest presence. We also use YouTube. Since the coronavirus pandemic, our YouTube channel has gotten a lot of content on it. And then we also use LinkedIn to target those potential donors and possibly prospective residents, but to share the news with people who are more in the working side. Facebook, like I said, that's where we have our largest presence. We have about 35,000 followers there. Facebook is really interesting because how we use it for ourselves personally, it's different how you use it from a working standpoint. I can look at insights on Facebook and see what posts are popular, what content people like. I can look and see what time people are on Facebook liking our content. I can look and see the ages of the people, whether they're male or female, so I can really tailor the content that we create for our social media page, for our Facebook page.
That's very, very powerful. So one of the other things that we use that powerful platform for is to communicate in times of emergency. So step us through how we would do that, especially, we have a hurricane season that's upon us now, and as a matter of fact, there's a tropical storm that's down in the southern portion of the Gulf of Mexico right now and may impact parts of the Gulf Coast. I don't think it's going to be in our area, but we're probably going to have some rain and stuff. So how would you use social media to be able to share what it is that we're doing?
So we want to make sure our residents family members, our donors, our supporters, our volunteers, anybody who cares about us or interested in us, that they know what's going on here, especially during an emergency situation. So I will create a post with an update of what's going on here, and I'll pin that to the top of the page, and then I will update that with a timestamp so that they can read the most current information. And I'll put that on the Air Force Enlisted Village page, the Bob Hope Village page, and the Hawthorn House page.
That's
so
great.
Everybody will know what is going on here during an emergency situation.
That's a wonderful way to share. So if a resident is interested in this and perhaps they don't have a social media account, they don't have a Facebook account, or they don't know how to get to YouTube, what are some of the ways that they can reach that?
Well, we do pretty much post all of that same content on our website. So if you go to www.afev.us and click on News and Stories, you'll find all of the stories and articles that we write, our news releases, many of our links to many of our videos. Cook with Brooke is on there. Cooking with Carrie is on there. So you can find all of that information right there. It's easy to go to the website and get it.
That's good. Well, thank you, Scarlett. We appreciate you coming in. Now, as I said, we were going to turn the camera around a little bit, so we've done that. We've got Scarlett here. One of the things that she is going to introduce now is a new portion of the show, and I'm going to turn it over to her and let her explain what that is.
So we're going to do something new, and it is a trivia contest. So what I plan on doing, and this is open to Bob Hope Village and Hawthorn House residents. I'm going to ask a trivia question, and I want you to email me by next Tuesday your answer, and I'll need your name. And my email address is Bauman, BAUMAN, at afev.us. And this week's trivia question is, what World's Fair is credited for popularizing iced tea? This month happens to be Iced Tea Month. So please send us your answers. And if I get multiple correct answers, I'm going to put all of them into a drawing. And then you'll get to see your name on Cook with Brooke.
That sounds exciting. So what about people that maybe don't have email? Can they drop off their answers
Sure, yeah.
at another location?
You know what? You can drop off your answer at the front desk at either Hawthorn House or Bob Hope Village. I haven't talked to them about that yet, but I will let them know to expect your trivia answers, and I look forward to seeing them all.
And you know, the trick to this is to not tell if you know the answer. So don't share this with your neighbors. This is all going to be classified information. So we look forward to having those come back in, and there has to be a prize, right? Beyond the name recognition and being on a famous show like this.
We'll come up with some kind of prize. It'll be something good.
I think it ought to be meals. Maybe having lunch at Knife's Edge would be a nice treat.
Yeah, we could
do that. So lunch for two. There's our prize. We just decided it right there. Well, thank you, Scarlett. We appreciate you coming on. It's always fun. We appreciate all the hard work that you do to help promote and tell the story of the Air Force Enlisted Village. Okay, we'll be right back in just a moment, and we'll wrap things up. Talk to you soon. All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Cook with Brooke, the cooking show that doesn't feature any food. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a little bit of insight into the marketing and development department. We've shared a little bit of information about what's happening with the COVID. Please stand by for more updates as we get those with the restrictions and the limitations that the state of Florida has imposed, as those are starting to be released now a little bit. We also are going to follow up with that, and we will be making some changes, so there'll be more to follow on that. Next week, we're going to have the Hawthorn House come over. Sandra Nunes is the administrator of the Hawthorn House, and she's going to come over and she's going to share a little bit about the Hawthorn House, what's happening over there. She's got an amazing team over there. We might even invite a couple of her team members over to come join. It's an amazing group that's over there. They work so hard, and they really take care of the residents that, especially at this time with the COVID crisis, those residents are the most at risk of any of the residents that we have here. So they have an incredible amount of responsibility and the burden that's over there for protecting our residents. So we look forward to having them over, celebrating with them a little bit. Thanks for watching Cook with Brooke. We look forward to seeing you again next week. God bless.